devil in a red dress. Call 911, I'm a killer. You know I hate to confess. Bang, bang, got my hand on the trigger. The devil in a red dress. Call 911, I'm a killer. You know I hate to confess. Bang, bang, got my hand. Call
Hello. How is everybody doing? Welcome to RossonARI TV. It is Thursday, another day in the Milan universe, another day in the Milan news, another day of Skynet taking over the world, another day of a Terminator trying to terminate the AC Milan DNA. It looks like it is soon to be official, guys. It's just a matter of hours, minutes, seconds, moments. Sooner or later, before the end of this day, we might have the officiality. Tonali is a new player of Newcastle. What's up, Antonio? How you doing, my friend? How's everything going?
Hey, how are you? Hope you're doing well. I'm doing pretty good.
Excellent. Very good. So it is the day after of the incredible, day yesterday. How do you feel today regarding the news? Have you digested it? Have you thought about it? Have you pondered? Have you gotten over it? How do you feel today about the news of Tonali?
Um, yeah, I feel a bit better today. I think the lesson to learn is to never get attached to any players from now on, because there's no the point. We're just going to be a cycling club where we just get players in and then release them, and just keep making profits. So never get attached to anyone. Um, from we don't know the situation about why he accepted the Newcastle deal, besides maybe just the obvious, which is the fact that he's getting triple his salary. But um, people are speculating that he was forced out. We don't really know the exact situation, but he did ultimately agree to leave. So, and he didn't really resist the deal. So yeah, this is happening, and I don't know. People are trying to be optimistic. People think this is good. I don't know. I'm not attached to any players anymore. So
Yeah, it's a good idea not to be attached to any players. I think you know what. To kind of feed off of what you just said, it's not so more of the attachment to the players that is upsetting. It's the attachment to the AC Milan idea that now is dead, basically. So the idea that Milan is a team that keeps its champions, Milan is a team that has long-term projects, etc., etc. So that has definitely died. That idea now has definitely dismantled. Skynet came in fast and destroyed that spirit, that DNA that was being built these 4 years in literally the space of 3 weeks. Bravo, bravo, Skynet! Wow, merciless. You know what they say? Bots have no souls. They're not sentient beings. That's why AI will be very efficient when it fully takes over the world because there is no feelings. So yeah, the idea of Milan died with the sacking of Maldini. It died with the retirement of Ibra, and today it fully dies with the sale of Tonali. Anyway, so Tonali looks like he is going to be joining Newcastle, as we just said. You shared something very interesting, Antonio, about, let's say, it was a series of events that led to the sale. You shared it on the WhatsApp group. Um, so can you explain that a little bit? Can you kind of go into detail about that?
Yeah, but I don't know how reliable it is. Just to
Yeah,
like put that out
but
there.
yeah, but you know what? It kind of makes sense, though. Go ahead, describe it.
Let me. Yeah, I'm going to pull it up. Can you still hear me well?
Yeah, yeah, I can hear.
Okay. This is just one like journalist who said was breaking down the timeline, but I don't know if he's reliable. But I'm just gonna say it. The first one is that Tonali told the club before leaving to with the national team that he wanted to stay. Newcastle stepped up its interest. After that, while he was there, he was still reluctant, even though it's the Premier League with a big salary increase. But the Milan management told him that they wanted to sell him. That's apparently the next step. And then he was sort of surprised by this and expected the club to turn down offers. And then after that, he kind of was a little bit upset or like frustrated, and then he started to accept the fate, basically.
Yeah, almost like he kind of felt betrayed, huh? There's like a feeling, and people also I saw have speculated this. Like he made it according to these speculations, and of course, right now, this nothing is confirmed. This is just what is being reported. Always remember that is a disclaimer, guys. I don't need to be reminding everybody every single time that that is the disclaimer. These are just reports that are coming out. Nothing is official, but let's pretend, or let's behave as if it could be. It looks like he was literally betrayed and backstabbed. He said he did not want to be sold. You know, Tonali in his past interviews has stated that he wanted to be with Milan forever. He wanted to become a bandiera. That means a flag, one of those players that stay forever. This is his childhood dream to play in these colors. And he told the management before going to the under 21s, which by the way are playing today against France, and he's going to be the captain of the team. He told them that he did not want to leave the club. He has no intention of leaving. But as soon as that big money offer came, the Terminator could not refuse. He saw the green, and that's it. His eye turned red, really bright, and he couldn't say no. So so it is what it is. Now, I don't know what this means for Tonali's career. I don't know if he's going to really settle in the Premier League. I don't know what kind of player they're expecting there. He's a defensive midfielder. I don't know if they're expecting like a super technical player that is going to do step overs and bicycle kicks. Like Tonali is a quantity player. He's a defensive midfielder. So we'll see how he works out in England. England is a very intense league, so it should fit him. But Newcastle is a team that I don't know if Newcastle can really become a serious team in the European panorama. I don't know if Newcastle can really satisfy Tonali's ambitions as a football player. It is to be seen. They are definitely investing in a lot of money. More sooner or later, they are going to probably be fighting for the first spot, maybe. I don't know what it means for Europe, what they're going to do in Europe. But what do you think of Newcastle, Antonio? Do you think they're going to be a reality in Europe? And if they do, when is that going to happen? What do you think?
Yeah, I think their project is better than ours at the moment because they're trying to improve. The owners are the most important thing, so they're doing this project where they've jumped from almost in relegation a few like last season or 2 seasons ago to now being in Champions League. They have a really good coach, and they're gonna keep being aggressive in the transfer market. Not like crazy, but they're gonna get a few players every year. So they are looking to improve. We are limited because our owners do not want to improve. We want to sell our players and just keep basically remaining at this sort of constant, like sort of mediocre level because we don't want to ever take the next step. And so for him, it's like, well, if we're not going to really push anyways here, I might as well take it over there and at least maybe the future looks more positive over there. So, no, that's the thing. No matter, they're more ambitious and that's what you need. So I think even though Newcastle probably won't win the league anytime soon, um, maybe they can win one of the domestic cups, and maybe they can try to keep fighting for Champions League, even though it's going to be hard. But yeah,
It is a sad day when you're doing a Milan and newscast on the Milan channel, and you have to hear the words Newcastle is more ambitious than AC Milan. It is a very sad day, not only for us Milanisti, but for the history of football.
yeah,
It's a
and
very
just
sad day. Yeah.
and just to add, like it's like okay, he's a so-called he self-proclaimed Milan fan that is leaving. He's not going to Real Madrid. He's not going to Barcelona or one of the mega clubs. He's going to Newcastle in Northern England. So, like the fact that this is happening, especially with this player, is just like really, really sad. But it's okay. We have no feelings anymore.
Yeah, listen, and talking about that, you said he's a self-proclaimed Milanista. I don't compare this to the Donnarumma situation. Um, I think Donnarumma, it was more him playing games with the management. Maldini actually really tried his best to keep Donnarumma because Maldini is not someone that wants to sell his best player. So Maldini maybe he didn't want to. He tried his best to keep Donnarumma. And then when he just realized that Donnarumma was not going to stay, he went in. Him and Masara went in for Mike Magnan. But I don't think Tonali should merit that same, let's say, reputation that Donnarumma got after his cloud move away from AC Milan. I think Tonali, in this case, it wasn't his. It ended up being a forced choice. Essentially, he was forced in a way to accept this offer, and the offer is monstrous. It is monstrous. Tonali is
Apparently,
going to
it's
be
up
making
to
10 million. Yeah, go
yeah.
ahead.
Apparently, the transfer fees also was negotiated to like around the 80 million that we asked for. Also, it's unclear about whether the bonuses are beyond 80 million or if they're to get us to 80 million.
I think you just cut off there, Antonio. But are you back?
Yeah, I was saying it's unclear whether the bonuses are beyond 80 million or to get us to 80 million, but that's what it is. And for me, even though you said yesterday you would like 100 million, like Declan Rice, based on like the reality of the way that, the football economy is today, 80 million is actually beyond his like objective transfer value, even though I know that it's biased towards England, but that's what it is. So it is a very fair price overall. Um, and that's just the way it is. So it's not like we did make some money. The only thing is, I think we have to give money to Brescia as well, like
Yeah,
15% or something.
I think it's around 15 to 20%. Correct. Yeah. So a portion of that money, well, either 15 or 20%, is definitely not going in the bank accounts of Jerry. But let's say it's 20%. So 80% of that is going to be going into the bank accounts of Jerry. I, we are still speculating how much of it he's going to spend. But yeah, like so here, Omari Thompson says, I don't think this move has anything to do with ambition of the club. I think Tonali saw it as an opportunity to make almost 3 times what he currently earns while still playing UCL football. But let's not forget, Tonali did not want to move. Tonali did not want to move. Um, Tonali, they asked him, "Do you want, do you want to accept? Are you going, if offers come, are you going to consider them?" According to what we know so far, and then we'll find out more. He said, "No, I want to stay with AC Milan." But when the management saw that Newcastle was coming in with big money, they told him, "Hey, bro, listen, we want to sell you. I don't give a shit if you're a Milanista. I don't care if your name is Tonali, but I want to make money off of you." So essentially, that's kind of like that's what we think happened, but we will find out more. We will find out more. Hayef says Newcastle after a season and a half they finished third, qualified to UCL. They have some good players, a good coach. Almost all the players they got last mercato are doing great. Gotcha. Tonali took a pay cut. Tonali's bringing big money, complete opposite of 99. Yeah, so in the end, I don't think Tonali merits any disrespect. I think Tonali has been a really great soldier for AC Milan. He was instrumental in winning us the Scudetto. He was instrumental in the Champions League run. And he was definitely one of those players that definitely put his heart and soul into the pitch, into the team. If he never joins Milan again, he will be remembered as, a really, really good player for us. And potentially he could have been one of our best players in the future.
Hey, Roy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make a really pessimistic but probably practical prediction here. So I don't know. I thought it was 15%. Let's say it's 20%. Come to worse.
Yeah.
We're left with, if let's say we get 80 million, 20% off. We're left with around a little over 60 million euros. In that case, I don't think we're going to get an injection of 30, 35 like they originally said. I think that whole 60 is going to be for our entire mercato. Plus, I think that he's going to pocket some for himself. So I think that we're going to spend 30 to 35 million, but that's all from the Tonali sale. I don't think we're going to be injecting anything else. I think that's what's going to happen. And we're going to get free transfers and players that, whatever. Maybe Goulet or something like that. But that's what's going to happen. I don't think we're going to be putting in a lot of money after this. Because do you really think they're going to spend 100 million? They're going to give us 35 plus the Tonali sale spent? No, I don't see that happening, guys. I'm sorry.
You know what? Right now, listen, I think it is safe to be pessimistic, especially with how this ownership operates. Again, the fact that this ownership is not really about results. This ownership is about profiteering. So right now, it is very, let's say, safe to be pessimistic uh, about how much we're going to reinvest in the market. Now, a few weeks ago, again, take it with a grain of salt. I did read that Milan's intention, and I believe this was a direct message from the higher ups, from Scaroni, I believe. I might be wrong about exactly who it was, but I do remember reading that Milan's intention was that for every sale they're going to make, all of that money is going to be reinvested into the market. So again, it could be fake, it could be true.
I
We
don't
will
believe
find
that.
out.
I
We
am
will
done
find out.
believing those things just because we also got news that we wouldn't sell any of our big players this summer. So there you go. Um, I don't believe those optimistic journalists. It's always, with this ownership, it's always pessimistic. When was the last time we got any sense of good news from these owners? I
No,
can't really remember.
yeah, no, Antonio, I definitely understand why you would be pessimistic. Like, I think everybody now should be more pessimistic than optimistic, not just about the market, just in general. because how this project was presented to us, etc. There's really nothing to be optimistic about if you're AC Milan. If we were like Lecce or Salernitana or whatever, then you'd be optimistic. Okay, like this management is going to bring us a better results and is going to bring us upper up on the table. But if you're Milan, with this history, with this reputation, with this DNA, with this pedigree, our ownership is a huge downgrade. It's a huge downgrade, but it is also a reflection of the reality of the Serie A, which needs to be said, because a lot of people do bring that up and say, "Hey, we got to be realistic. Look, Serie A just cannot be the EPL. In Serie A, nobody wants to come to invest. The money that circulates in the Serie A is so inferior to what is happening in the EPL that Serie A teams can't but operate in any other way. There's no major investments in the Serie A. If a big offers come, Serie A teams have no choice but to consider them. So it's a reflection of the country, the economic situation in the country, and the economic, and basically the Serie A, which is a league that is run very poorly if you compare it to, the other leagues. So there is that aspect too. It's not just the ownership's fault. We have to remember that it's not just the ownership's fault. It's also the situation in Italy and the Serie A. That's why the club right now is run this way. If there were much more guarantees, if it was a more appetizable league, yeah, probably we would have right now a Qatari owner, a Saudi owner, a state-owned. We would be a state-owned club where they basically inject the money with crazy cash, etc., etc. But until the Serie A improves, until Milan as an asset goes up, which is Cardinale's intention, none of this can really happen. So it's yeah, go ahead.
I agree with everything you said about getting new owners. I just want to point this out, which I'm sure you will also agree with. Even with Elliott, keeping Maldini as the management, or in the management, and keeping our best players, we're becoming a profitable club, and we're on the right path. Because even despite all of the terrible, economic issues in Italy, we are actually finding a way forward. But this guy wants to take that and completely, into some extreme new project, which is even worse than basically getting rid of everything and just keep cycling and getting it the maximum possible he can. So for me, it's I'm not asking for a crazy owner. I'm just asking for someone who's a little bit reasonable. Even Elliott, when Elliott was fully in charge, was more reasonable than this guy. So
yeah. So listen, going back to the prior, let's say, management, etc., etc. The thing that this financial situation was more or less the same. The difference was really that the club there were people in that club that had a vision that was more traditional to Milan's values. So that kind of gave you comfort. It gave us comfort. Maldini in particular. I don't want to talk about Maldini forever because Maldini is gone, but Maldini in particular kind of gave us that comfort. He gave us that guarantee that even if things are bad as far as the finances go, there's still someone in the club that is going to do his ultimate best to push this club to the top. So that is gone right now. So but yeah, the situation was the same as it was before. Elliot was less involved, I think. So they just had people, the people in charge do their job and whatever, and they they found themselves lucky that they had Maldini, Massara, Boban, Gazidis, all these people, Moncada, all these people at the right time in the right moment who are very good at what they do, and they won a Scudetto. But with this management, it's completely different. With this ownership, it's completely different. And here, Gio says something I want to also say something about this. Jerry's playing stupid. He invested in the XFL, who lost 200 million, and also clubs in Serie A isn't profitable. It isn't profitable like how he wants it to be. Plus, he still owes 600 million to Elliott plus his investors. So, Laird yesterday came on and we spoke a little bit about the situation. I do think one thing, and I think I do agree with Laird. I think since we know that the big project was to build the stadium, right? When Jerry bought the club, his idea was we're going to, you know, um, build better infrastructure, et cetera, et cetera. It was a 10-year investment, a 10-year project, build the stadium. And then once you have the stadium, increase the club asset value, three times as high. But I think he is starting to realize how difficult it is to build a stadium in Italy. That he might actually be forfeiting his plans, and he might sell sooner. This is definitely a possibility that can happen. Because I do think that was the ultimate plan. That was the ultimate mission. Build the stadium. Then once you build the stadium, now Milan is a club that can be appetizable for anybody that wants to buy it. But I don't think he's going to be able to achieve that. I don't know. What do you think?
I think he'll get the stadium eventually, if I'm being honest. But
Okay,
it's just
okay.
gonna
So you
take a
are
while.
optimistic about the stadium.
But I don't really care much about the stadium, to be honest.
Listen, as far as the stadium goes, I want him to get the stadium. Okay, listen, in my dream here, in my perfect scenario dream, Jerry Cardinale sells the club tomorrow, and he's out of the door tomorrow. But as I've said here on these lives before, the best thing that this guy is ever going to do for Milan is build a stadium. If he can get the stadium done, then sell the club. Then okay, that's it. Just get out of here. But um, that's the only good thing that this ownership is going to bring to Milan, the stadium, if they can get it done. I don't know if they'll be able to do it, but if they can, it'll be literally the only good thing that they will do. All right, so listen, let's talk a little bit about the market. Now, Antonio, how do you think this money is going to be reinvested? Who's going to come? I'll give you my opinions, and we'll see. Go ahead.
So we need 2 to 3 midfielders because now we have no starting midfielders for the beginning of the season. We need at least one striker. We need a right winger and like an attacking midfielder. Um, that's like the bare minimum. And then we may sell players and get more substitutes. But so I think we need in terms of the midfield. I really the thing is we don't. There's no name that stands out that's anywhere near as close to Tonali. You can say Fratesi. I'm not too convinced that we still need someone who does really really physical work there. So I don't know. They're saying there's like a few players from the Dutch league. I'm not. I don't know. I've been too detached to like really watch that and like look at those players. Um, Maybe Goulet, but who knows because the agent situation is complicated. Turam now is they're saying 6 million a year, which is honestly really really terrible. It's that idea to pay someone who just comes into the club the highest wages. Um, yeah, so I don't think they know what they're doing. I don't think they're able to like close any deals. So I'm kind of
Wow,
pessimistic.
you're super. Wow, you're really pessimistic. Like you're really, dude. This really hurts you. Like I can feel the pain coming through your voice, man. Like this really hurts. I understand, bro. I totally understand you, guys. By the way, check this out. Okay, first let me say thank you to Vasil for the super chat. He says, "Hello, my people. What's up, Vasil? I'm sad about how Tonali just rolled with it and did not even fight. Makes me really question his decision making too. Disappointment." So let's see what Tonali says. Let's see what he says when all of this is said and done. By the way, we have some official news right here that I'm going to bring up. But obviously, guys, I do think that once he goes to Newcastle, he's gonna, say the usual honey words about Newcastle. He's always been a Newcastle fan since the day he was born. He watched Newcastle all his life, and he's going to mention, 3 or 4 names that we're going to instruct him to mention. The usual political shit. But I don't know, Vasil. I really don't know. I have a feeling he had no choice but to do this. I think he did not have any choice, and he was forced to do this. That's my feeling for now, but we will find out more. All right, guys, check it out. Milan I via Sky Sport. Tonali from Milan to Newcastle is a done deal for around 80 million. Tonali will sign a 6-year contract worth 8 million plus 2 million bonuses. Holy moly, that is 60 million. If that's a per season, 6 seasons, that is 60 million. How can you say no to 60 million? I mean, is my math correct here? Yeah, my math is correct. 10 plus times 6 is 60. So basically, this guy pretty much signed a uh 60 million euro contract. How can you say no to that when the management tells him, listen, we don't mind selling you? Tonali's agent will fly to Romania, where Sandro is expected to undergo the medical for Newcastle tomorrow. So here it goes. Okay, guys, I'm going to tell you what I think right now. Like, I'm seeing a lot of news saying that Frattesi is saying yes to Inter and Frattesi this and Frattesi that. I am 99% sure that as soon as this money gets transferred, and by the way, we don't know if the money is going to get all transferred right away. That doesn't matter. But as soon as this operation is done, Frattesi is going to become an AC Milan player. I think Beppe Rizzo being also the agent of Tonali and Frattesi, and that meeting they had yesterday between Moncada, Fulani, and Frattesi, I think that they already have a substitute, and it will be Frattesi. Even though right now Frattesi is being heavily linked to Inter, they're saying Frattesi said yes to Inter, etc., etc. But at the end of the day, it's a race. It's the race of who can get there first. Milan now has the liquidity to go for Frattesi, and I think that that's what they will do. But I am starting to agree more with the pessimists that that's all they will do with this money. They'll only get Frattesi with this money, and then they'll pocket the rest. So now let's talk. What about you, Antonio? Do you think that's going to happen? Of course, this is just my speculation. To me, it just makes sense because Frattesi right now is the player that is most contested in Italy, the midfielder that is the most contested in Italy amongst the big teams: Roma, Juventus, Inter, and Milan. Also, he's Italian, so you have to substitute an Italian with an Italian because you're going to, otherwise disturb the quota, the domestic quota, the Champions League quota, and also Frattesi is considered to be right now the hottest Italian midfielder in the league. So they probably believe Moncada and the technical directors, etc., and the sporting department of AC Milan probably believes that Frattesi, from a technical aspect, a footballing aspect, would be a good replacement. Now, different players, like Antonio said, Frattesi is a little bit more of a pure, or more of an technical player, more of an offensive player, more similar to, like Larry said yesterday, Benacer than Tonali. Tonali is more of a quantity player, a ball recovery player. While Frattesi is a player that scores goals. He did score 7 goals against Sassuolo, and he's also good at passing, etc., etc. So now that does mean, though, that Milan has to also get in the market for a defensive midfielder. Because Frattesi now is not really the substitute of Tonali, but Frattesi becomes the substitute of Benacer because that's what we need. We need the substitute for Benacer because Benacer is not going to be available for the rest of the year. And also, we know that when these players come back from these kind of injuries, you don't have any sort of guarantee that they'll be 100% fit until the next season, right? Because Benacer is scheduled to come back in January, essentially. And then after that, we don't know how he's going to recover and how long it's going to take him to get back into fitness. So really, I'm going to say this. Frattesi is not the replacement of Tonali. Frattesi is the replacement of Benacer. But you do need a Tonali replacement, a defensive midfielder, a guy that recovers balls in the middle. And who could that be? I don't know. It could be that Lecce player, the Holman guy. It can be some other free agent that we don't know about. It could be some Moneyball operation. I don't think Milinkovic Savic falls in that mold. Kamada is a player that is scheduled to come to Milan. He is very good when it comes to recovering balls in the midfield. Maybe it's him. I don't know. What do you think about this, Antonio? How do you feel about Fratesi and basically this speculation.
I mean, it's a fair point, but I think if you were to ask him where he would prefer to go, it would be Inter instead, because Inter is a more once again they're more serious. They're gonna sell Brozovic soon because Al Nasser is pushing for it, and they're gonna actually pay Inter money. So that's gonna offer a little bit of freedom for them to come in and make the move. Unless we act really fast, I don't like if he has a choice between either one. Like, why would he choose us? Like, well, he's not a Milan fan, so why? I don't really see that us being like the favorites for this.
Got you. I think it's more to do with business rather than anything else. Yeah, obviously, Fratesi is not an Inter fan either. I think he's a Roma fan, right? Isn't he a Roma fan? He was, or wasn't he? I think he came from the Roma academies, and he's Roman. I think, guys. I don't know, but I think it's more so like Tonali. Tonali is going to Newcastle. Obviously, if you would have asked Tonali a week ago, do you want to go to Newcastle? He said, hell no. What other team would you rather go to? You'd say, I'd rather stay in Milan, but if I had my choice, I'd probably go to Real Madrid. I'd probably go to Bayern or whatever. Newcastle wouldn't be even in his top 100. But I think it comes down more to the business aspect. I think it comes down to more. Milan now has the liquidity, so Milan can pounce faster, and it comes down to that. It comes to trying to acquire these players before your competition. But it is also down to the player. So we will see, because it really, like, it has to be. It's a three-way choice. Both clubs need to have an agreement, and the player has to have an agreement. If Fratesi wants to join Milan, he would be coming in. He'd be taking basically Tonali's salary, maybe even a little bit more. He knows he's got a spot. He doesn't have to compete for any spot. He knows he'd be a starter, and he'd be playing in Champions League. He'd be playing in a team that is competing, if maybe competing for the Scudetto or competing for top four. So it's a big jump for him. So yeah, we don't know where Fratesi wants to go. As you said, the reports are saying Inter. I'm just going to say this. This is just my speculation, guys. I'm just going to put, my name out there. I'm going to say that Fratesi is going to be a done deal before the end of the next week. Now let's see. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. We will find out. From Lazio. Fratesi is from Lazio. He's a Laziale. Is that what you're saying? So listen, Vasil has a message for you. Vasil has a message for you, Antonio. Do you want me to read it?
Yeah, I already read it. I can respond, honestly.
Go for it.
Yeah, so for me, with this negativity aspect, there's no point of even being excited or even following the transfer market anymore, because even if we get Arda Güler, why? Tell me, should we be attached to these players? Like, are you going to get excited for these players? They're going to be gone in a year. So what's the point of being excited? So that's my response. It's that I'm not going to be excited anymore for any of this. Are we going to be celebrating? No. So you call me negative, but I'm thinking ahead of the game right now of what's going to happen.
Listen, you're 100% right. No point in getting emotionally involved with the players, and it's a different era in football. 100% true.
For
But at
me,
the same
my
time-
perspective,
go ahead.
my new perspective is I'm just going to watch what happens on the field, enjoy if we play well or whatever happens, and just watch the season. And then I'm tuning out from the summer stuff.
Well, listen, I'm trying to. I'm upset, right? I'm upset, but at the same time, I find it very difficult. Well, let me add this. Let me put this disclaimer. I found it very difficult that we're going to fire Maldini. I found it very difficult that we're going to sell Tonali. I found it very difficult that things are going the way they are. But at the same time, I find it very difficult that this team is going to go into next year's competition so much weaker. So I just don't see that happening right now. There has to be a method to this madness. And the difference I want to believe today is that, yeah, there is no attachment to the players, but The rosters are still going to be competitive. So for me, like you mentioned Arda Güler. By the way, guys, Arda Güler now is being linked to Real Madrid as well. This kid, every single day that passes, he's even linked to Real Madrid. It gets more and more difficult. Arda Güler is the future, is one of the biggest players of the future, one of the biggest talents that is going to play on football fields in Europe in the future. Now is the time to get him. Now is the time. If you want to make money, Jerry, in 2 or 3 years, this is your biggest Moneyball operation you can make, Mr. Jerry. Mr. Terminator, Skynet. Go for Arda Güler. Let us Milanisti enjoy football for a few years, then sell him for 200 million when he'll be worth that. And then once he's worth 200 million, you can pocket 100 million of that and put the other 100 million into the market. But Arda Güler right now is a guy that needs to be got. 100%. He is the Vice Verasquilla of this market. You do not miss out on this opportunity. I think Milan is the best team for this player. Right now, Milan, because Milan is entering this phase of being kind of like a stepping stone for players, a team that is very good for developing players. Milan is the best team in Europe for developing players. There's no doubt. I have no doubt about that. Arda Güler, this is the best team for Arda Güler. I'm 100% convinced about this. And so at least all I'm asking for is let me enjoy football for 2 or 3 years. And then maybe in 2 or 3 years, you sell Arda Güler, get the next one. And keep on doing that until you build the stadium. And then please get the fuck out. Please get the fuck out so we can get a serious owner with ambitions. So all I'm saying is I'm not going to kill my hopes of seeing good football. Because I think the opportunities to build a really good roster is there. The players are there. Now the funds are there. The free agents are there. If we have to sell another player, so be it. So be it. If we sell Magnan or Theo or Tomori, at this point, what are we going to do this whole theater thing again? Oh my God! How did he sell Theo? What a piece of shit! I can't believe this guy sold Theo. This guy's not a Milanista. Are we going to do this all the time? We know this is what they do, and right now we have to live with it. It sucks. This is not Milan. Disclaimer: this is not Milan, but this is the way they operate. So if you're going to sell these players, bring in good players. So we know for the upcoming year, we have a good roster. At least this is what I'm hanging on today, Antonio. Now, maybe that's not going to happen, and then we can discuss that when it happens. But right now, we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what's going to happen. If they don't reinvest in the players, and we have a shitty roster, then it is what it is. Antonio left. He said he's going to be back soon. But anyway, so this is how I feel, guys. This is how I feel about it. And I do think that there is space now to, even just with the sale of Tonali, to build a really good roster if we invest this money properly. You can get a Frattesi. You can get a Frattesi. Now you also have the money to bring in Thuram. I don't like the Thuram deal, but now that can actually be activated. You can try and get Güler. You can bring in 3 players with the sale of this one guy without even having to spend the whole damn amount that you sold him for. So for today, guys, I'm going to hang on to that. I am going to hang on to that. I'm not going to act as if the world is over. The world already ended a long time ago. The world already ended when Maldini was fired, to me, because Maldini, for me, was the heart and soul of this team. To me, Maldini was a guarantee that this team was going to keep on being competitive. But the moment he left, that's when the world ended. But now this is a different world, and I'm just going to adapt to this new world until the next one comes up. So we will see, guys. We shall find out. All right, let me see what you guys are saying in chat regarding all of this craziness. Only buying Frattesi, Güler, and SMS will ease my pain. So let's say we get those 3 players, right? Frattesi, Güler, SMS, or Frattesi, or whoever, but players of that level. Like nobody's going to complain at the end, guys. Nobody's going to complain. Like you're going to forget about Tonali real fast if that happens. But what Antonio did say is correct. Do not get attached to Frattesi. Do not get attached to Guler. Do not get attached to SMS. Do not get attached to anybody because right now everybody has a price tag. Everybody has a price tag, and this management does not care about how we think, how we feel. This management is just going to go do its business, and they're going to be ruthless about it. They're going to be ruthless, and I think it makes me want to think one of the reasons why Cardinale does not want to show his face, does not want to be present, does not want to be a president or an owner that talks to the fans is because he knows what he has to do in order to do the things he needs to do. And he knows that there's no point in him trying to win favor. He knows he's going to be seen as a villain and he's going to keep on just doing what he does. He doesn't care about how we felt about Maldini. He doesn't care about how we feel about Tonali. He doesn't care. He doesn't care about any of this. What he cares about is his mission, his business, his assets. And if he needs to be a villain, so be it. It's easier for him. It's easier for him to be the villain. It's like in WWE. You have the heel and you have the baby face, right? The good guy and the bad guy. It's easy for the bad guy to do the bad things because the bad guy is always going to get booed in the end. So, it doesn't matter. It's easy for him to be the villain and he's going to keep on being the villain. Tarita says, I agree. Frattesi is not a like-for-like replacement for Tonali. Frattesi plays more advanced while Tonali is more defensive. Correct. Okay, guys, let's see. Let's talk about these other crazy links that are happening. So, Milan I, Frosinone have opened negotiations for Milan's young trio Lorenzo Colombo, Marco Brescianini, and Daniel Maldini. That would be nice to see all three of them in one team. I think Lorenzo Colombo, though, deserves to be in a better team that fights for, that is like a mid-table team rather than a lower table team. Or I actually think that Lorenzo Colombo probably deserves to be the Milan third striker. As far as Marco Brescianini, we'll see how he develops, and I think Daniel Maldini probably needs a better situation, not a dry loan. The dry loan operation does not work. It needs to be an operation where the team that you're loaning the player to has the opportunity to actually acquire the player and incentivize that team to use the player. Because with Spezia, it was a dry loan. Spezia didn't give a shit about using Daniel Maldini. I mean, hell, didn't they bring in Esposito at a certain point? That was another pretty poor operation, the Daniel Maldini operation, I think. It shouldn't have been a dry loan. It should have been a loan with option to buy or obligation, etc., with a buyback clause, kind of like how we did with Lorenzo Colombo, which worked beautifully. It worked beautifully. So anyway, there you go. There, more news on the Newcastle thing. Yeah. Okay, so here, according to, we're going to just stay on Milan I, then we're going to go do the rounds of the different other Twitter accounts. Milan is looking for two midfielders and has made contact for Feyenoord midfielder Mats Wiefer. It was among the best players of the last season in the Eredivisie and has also become what? Contacts with Entourage and Club to understand requests and figures. So, guys, we're going to be linked to a lot of players. We're going to see which one we're going to be linked to. But let's talk about the big one right here. That's right, guys. Big Rom. Listen, people are saying this is real. This is not fake news. Apparently, this is not fake news, guys. This is actually real and it's really happening. The links to Big Rom are actually real. So, how do we feel about Big Rom? Is Big Rom a player that we want to see at Milan? Is he a player that that he would accept Milan, first of all? So those are the two things that I want to discuss. First of all, I think that Milan would benefit from Lukaku. let's not be silly here, guys. Lukaku is a good player. I know we like to banter him, and I know that in the finals he's been a very good defender for the opposing teams. He's been an excellent central defender for the opposing teams whenever Inter plays finals. We all know that. All of that is very clear. But Lukaku is quality. Lukaku is good. I don't think this is going to happen. It's interesting that we are linked to him. I think it makes our cousins a little bit jealous or a little bit angry. But yeah, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Is it a yes or no for Lukaku? What do you guys think in chat, guys? Would you like to see Lukaku join Milan? If we send Lukaku, we are shameless, Iman Tour says. Lukaku and Milan Labs could end up like Higuain. I don't want Lukaku. Not even Inter remember his clear-cut chances missed in the World Cup. No, Thuram over Lukaku. Now, there was an idea circulating around the internet of having Lukaku, Thuram, and Giroud, guys. Lukaku, Thuram, and Giroud. Objectively speaking, guys, that's a pretty freaking good offensive line. Okay, like let's be realistic here. Let's forget the banter. Let's forget what colors Lukaku is wearing right now. But objectively speaking, Thuram, Lukaku, Giroud is a freaking good offensive line. I think that is a little bit way out of our reach, though. Like that's a little bit too good to be true. But as I can see here, which I definitely anticipated, everybody's saying no, hell to the no. No to Lukaku. Vasil says no. Lukaku is not Ibra. No, Lukaku will be a Trojan horse for Inter. We're not getting Lukaku. They're just playing with us. No, signed Taremi and said, no, so I'm all with the Taremi. I'm all for Taremi, guys. I'd get Taremi in a heartbeat. Fuck no, Lukaku, no. You can expect a hat trick of own goals from Lukaku against Inter. But our defense will. So Lukaku more a comedian than an actor. So, okay, of course, everybody here is against the prospect of having Lukaku in the team. And I totally understand that, guys. It is totally understandable. But according to what has been said, this is real. Like it is being confirmed by reliable sources, and you have people that are talking about this, and they're saying, yeah, it is real. They are actually going there and asking information regarding Lukaku, whether to see if it's a possibility or not. Now, I don't see why they would even do that, since Lukaku is making way much more money than we can afford to pay him. I don't understand this one. I don't understand this one. I don't know what to believe anymore, guys. I really don't know what to believe anymore. So a lot of people are saying that this is real, that they're really trying to see whether or not it can happen. But I don't get it. Like, if we have this salary cap, how the fuck are we going in for Lukaku? It doesn't make any sense to me. Maybe it could be good, but we have no balls for running to him after last season. Yeah, that's true. Breaking, Tonali went behind club back to negotiate with Newcastle. Propaganda has started. Who has said that, guys? I don't know if that. Don't. Yeah, guys, I don't know about that. That sounds a little bit dodgy. Listen, to me, going back to the Tonali thing, Newcastle tried to go for Barella. Inter said no, thank you. Then they went for Tonali, and Cardinale said, yeah, sure, why not? That's pretty much how that went down. Retegui can be a good move. Very El Melanista sul tubo 1899. I totally agree. Retegui can be a very good move. As a matter of fact, the CEO of the club in which he's playing right now said, or his agent, I'm not sure exactly who it was, but I did read this yesterday, said, and these were his own words. It's not a journalist or a source. These were actually his words. But Retegui right now is being sought after by many clubs, but no concrete offers are coming. He is expecting to see Retegui move to Europe this summer. Retegui, a player that in Argentina scores a shitload of goals, All these players that do really well in Argentina, when they come to Italy or to Europe, they end up being world beaters, guys. You know, Batistuta, Crespo, Agüero, Dybala, etc., 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 and the list goes on forever. It's hilarious how people are convinced that Milan project is going in the right direction. Well, if you're talking about making money for a Cardinale, it is going in the right direction. Honestly, after this month, nothing Milan do can hurt me. Yes, guys. Hey, listen, the positive thing is now we're going to have really thick skin. Nothing can hurt us anymore, guys. We're going to become invincible. I was going to buy the Tonali jersey when we got the second stars, both becoming increasingly distant. What the fuck, Roy? Yeah, Ricky, I hear you, brother. I hear you. It hurts. Okay, Phone Boy says 80 million for Milan to trigger transfer plans and 8 million a year salary for Tonali. That's win-win business. Be optimistic. Listen, I'm going to be optimistic today and hang on to the idea that this money is going to be reinvested wisely. Okay? I am going to be like that. I am going because at the end of the day, we are a sports team. We are a sports club. So listen, guys. I just don't see how they're willing to destroy the sporting aspect. Because if you destroy the sporting aspect of the club, you cannot profit from the club. The club does not become it becomes a club that sponsors don't want to invest in. Also, let's say if you get young players, right? And and these players, for example, don't achieve their sporting objectives, then these players, their value won't go up. For example, let's look at Leao, right? Why is Leao so valuable today? Leao is extremely valuable today because the sporting project kept on growing. Teo Hernandez, Tomori, all of these players, why are they so valuable? Because we won a Scudetto, because we keep on qualifying for the Champions League, because of those deep runs in the Champions League, because of the results. That's how you increase value of a player, because of results. If Milan was finishing 8th or 9th or 7th, Leao right now would cost 40 million. He will cost 50 million. He wouldn't cost 100 million. The reason why he cost 100 million is because he was named MVP 2 seasons ago. And unless you win the Scudetto, you cannot be named MVP. So for me, guys, it's very difficult to think that they're completely going to abandon the sporting aspect of it. Now, I do think it's not the main priority, but it needs some sort of relevance and importance. They have to have a roster, first of all. Each player you're going to sell, you have to replace him with someone. So for me, guys, it's very difficult to believe that they're going to just completely abandon the sporting aspect of this team. It's very difficult that that's going to happen. If Milan finish next year in 8th or 10th or of spot, you get Arda Güler. Arda Güler is not going to cost you 100 million in 2 years. There's no capital gains anymore. So if we want to be really, really bad, if Cardinale is the devil, basically what he wants to do is use all of Maldini's great work with the players that were under his tutelage and sell him now. And basically just get capital gains off of Teo, off of Magnan, off of Tomori, off of Kalulu, off of Leao. Basically get these players off of Tonali, which they just did. Because these you can get capital gains off of these players only because of the results on the pitch. So for me, it's very difficult to think that the sporting aspect is not being considered. It's very difficult to think that way, guys. Now, again, for me, a few weeks ago, it was very difficult to think that they would that they would fire Maldini, they would sell Tonali. So anything is possible. If we do smart things with 80 million, it could be good times. Not gonna lie, 80 million plus 35. If they spend it all, let's see. That's right, Roy. If we want to resell Milan with profit, they would have to make Milan more competitive, not the other way around. I'm not worried that Americans will destroy Milan. Let's see. Now, the one thing that America will destroy is the DNA of Milan, and they already have done that. What do you mean, Fran? Jerry's already destroying Milan. Arda Güler is off the table. Madrid is now interested. Yes, guys, I did see this. Negan, Madrid now is now interested in Arda Güler, so that makes it very difficult. But Madrid is also packed with talent right now, right? So I don't think there'd be much space for Arda Güler. That's the thing. Like Madrid has players that are ready to win the Champions League. Arda Güler in Madrid would not. It's not a good place for him to develop. A good place for Arda Güler to develop is a team like Milan, where you don't have the pressure to win the Champions League, where you don't have the pressure to win the Scudetto, where actually there is space because Diaz is gone. He would probably take the place of Messias on the right. So it's perfect for him. It's literally perfect based on his age, based on his development, based on what the ambitions are. Real Madrid is too much for Arda Güler at this point in time. We should focus on who we can buy now instead of crying about Tonali. It is done. Move on. Your crying will not change shit. It's just a waste of time. Let's talk who will get with that money. Yes. So, as I said, guys, Vasil, like the players that I would like to see are those three. Fratesi, but not as the replacement of Tonali, but as the replacement of Benacer. Then the dream would be SMS, and then Arda Güler. Those three players are the dream. Now, realistically speaking, it could just be Fratesi that would happen. Then the other players would be more like Moneyball players that we don't know. The reason we got that much for Tonali is because he helped us win titles. Yeah, that's right. Let's get real. It's a win-win for both parties. Hold on, Ubirov. It's a win-win only if the money gets reinvested wisely. Because if it doesn't, then it's just a win for Jerry, not for us. All the other teams will just loan Güler. Milan can actually play him. Yes, King. This is what I'm saying, guys. Like, this is what I'm saying. Like, Güler actually can play with Milan. All right, guys, let's see if there's any more news here regarding the market. Let's go to Di Marzio and see what Di Marzio says. I think the screen is blocked, guys. I'm going to go out and come back in. My StreamYard here has frozen. Give me 1 second, guys. Give me 1 second. I have to reset the StreamYard because it has frozen. In the meantime, guys, I'll leave you with this really cool song. 1 minute, guys. 1 minute. I'll be back. Oh, no. No, it's working. It's all good. Never mind. Okay, Di Marzio, here we go. Calciomercato, Edin Dzeko, new player of Fenerbahce. There you go. Dzeko is gone. So off of the wages. He was for free for Inter. We don't care about what Padova does. Oh, interesting. Gnonto player that was also oh no, never mind. This got nothing to do with Gnonto. So the under 21 starts. France is the first team Italy plays. France is the favorite to win the competition. That is true. Oh, guys, by the way, did you see Chelsea, guys? 5 players. They sold 5 players in one day. Who did they sold? Mendy. They sold Havertz. They sold Ziyech. And 2 other guys. Crazy stuff. Kante. Incredible shit. Okay, so we got nothing from Di Marzio, guys. No new news here from Di Marzio. Yeah, just Rizzo. That's it. Nothing here. Let's go to Skira. Skira, who was very active yesterday with the whole Tonali ordeal. We got naked women. Tottenham have offered a contract until 2028 to Guillermo Vicario. Oh, guys, so Vicario is off of the market. There you go. Vicario is gone. So Inter will not be getting Vicario. Uh, Dzeko, we don't care about that. Yeah, nothing interesting, guys. So let's go to Sempre Milan and let's talk about the links. The links. If anything comes up, we will tackle it. Aha. Okay. You see, guys. You see. I don't say, guys. I fucking use logic. I use logic, gentlemen. I use logic. Davide Frattesi has ended up on the radar of AC Milan, and the interest has seemingly increased with the imminent departure of Sandro Tonali. In fact, the Rossoneri are now the front runners, a report claims. Logic, guys. You have to use logic in order to make your assessments. Don't use your feelings. Don't use your biases. You have to be a terminator when you make analyses. Logic. Inter have been interested in Frattesi for a very long time and look to be in pole position heading into the summer. However, Milan settled Tonali to Newcastle for around 80 million, and the Nerazzurri lack of cash have changed the race, according to calciomercato.com. So this is Longo. Milan is now the most concrete hypothesis for Frattesi, with a meeting scheduled between the Rossoneri and the midfielder's agent Beppe Rizzo. The latter is also the agent of Tonali, which is a plus for Giorgio and co. Also there, guys, that connection right there just says exactly what's going to happen. So swallow price tag for Frattesi is set between 30 to 40 million, and it remains to be seen how much Milan are willing to spend on the 23-year-old. In any case, the Rossoneri interest is concrete and could be accelerated once Tonali's exit is official. So there you go, guys. There you go. There you go. This is happening, guys. I really believe this is going to happen. And we will find out. We will find out very soon. And I do think that this is literally the best thing that you can do if you sell Tonali based on the current market. There's no other players that you can get right now that are affordable, but that can bring you, that are also Italian, and that can bring you a good amount of quality. So Frattesi it is. Frattesi it is. Okay, other links. We have the Goulet links. Arda Güler has been heavily linked with AC Milan over the last few days, with the imminent departure of Sandro Tonali fueling the rumors. Mesut Ozil believes the playmaker could become better than him. Milan are looking for a playmaker right winger to replace Brahim Diaz, who officially has returned to Real Madrid. Daichi Kamada is set to join for the number 10 role, but the Rossoneri could also bring in Güler with more focus on the right flank. Last night, L'Equipe reported that the Rossoneri are ahead of the competition when it comes to the 18-year-old, speaking to Marca, as cited by the Madrid Zone. The former German player with Turkish roots, Mesut Ozil, praised Güler. Is there a number 10 better than me? I can think of a name. I have a brother that I believe in. May God protect him. His name is Arda Güler, he stated. Ozil was also a teammate of Güler during his time at Fenerbahce, meaning I've seen plenty of what the youngster is capable of. It remains to be seen if Milan can beat the competition and secure his arrival. So listen, today, as far as the Arda Güler thing, news, everything is very positive. Milan is in the race. Milan is being linked to this player. That's all I need to know to be somewhat happy regarding the transfer rumors. Whether or not this is going to happen, I don't know. I really don't know. Peace out, Ricky M. See you next time. Teo is staying and won't be. Sassuolo is going to fleece us. Frattesi isn't worth 40 million. How much do you think Frattesi is worth? Because how much do you think Frattesi is worth, Tez? Roy, football is not logic, it's passion. That is why they call us tifosi. No. I'm using logic. Guys, hold on. Danny, listen, my man. I am using logic to analyze what is going to happen in the market. That's what I'm saying. Meaning, I'm not, for example, Like when we talk about players like Frattesi or Berardi or this or that or the other, right? Fans will usually use their biases and their opinions regarding the player. Oh, Berardi, that guy sucks. That guy does not know how to kick the football. Look at this meme. The Sharknado. Look at this meme. Therefore, Berardi sucks. But that's not how Berardi or Frattesi or any player in football is seen by the professionals. The professionals look at these footballers as good footballers that can actually do good stuff for them. So I try to be that as much as possible. I try to take away all the biases away. I try to be as professional as I can be. And I look at the panorama right now. How many other midfielders in the world right now that have the same numbers as Frattesi, the same potential as Frattesi? What is their price? They're more or less, either more, depending on the league they come from, and the others that cost less are probably because they're not as good. And the other thing that a lot of people make a mistake is they will see a player that plays in the Eredivisie or a Belgium league or wherever league, and they'll think, oh, this guy here, is definitely better than Frattesi because, I know what Frattesi looks like because I see him every Sunday. So you have to also consider that. You also have to consider that. Frattesi is actually a very good player, guys. He's actually a very good player. Right now, he's probably Italy's best midfielder in this current moment. In this current moment, at least the midfielder, he was the best in the national team, and he is definitely the future starter for the Italian national team. If you are a starter for the English team, you're worth north of 100 million. If you're a starter for the Spanish team, you're worth over I don't know how much, etc., etc., etc. If you're starter for the Italian national team, your price is not that bad actually. 25 million, most of Frattesi. Yeah, 25 million I think is the right price. I do agree with you. I think 25 million, but honestly, guys, like how much would you spend for Tonali, guys? If you were to buy, let's say you are Newcastle, or let's say you are Milan, and Tonali right now is playing for Sassuolo. How much would you spend for Tonali? So let's play this game for a second. If you are Tonali, if you're Milan and you want to buy Tonali, how much would you spend for Tonali? Now, take away the fact that he played with Milan. Just pretend he played with Sassuolo this whole time. How much would you spend for Tonali? 45, 50. I would pay 45, 50. So around 40 to 50. Roy, is he really better than Tonali? In some aspects, yes. In other aspects, no. 50, 35 for Tonali. Anyway, I don't see any of you guys say anywhere close to 80 or 75 or 100. Yeah, Barella is definitely Italy's best midfielder. No doubt about that. I meant like up and coming. It's Tonali, Frattesi, and Barella. Those are going to be the next three midfielders. Yeah, so yeah, guys, all players are overpriced. All players are overpriced. No doubt about it. All players are overpriced. So at the end of the day, you have to contend with that. There's no way any of us here would have spent 80 million on Tonali. I wouldn't have. I wouldn't. I mean, for Grealish, who they spent 120 million, I would pay Grealish maybe 20 million. You see, so it's like the prices in the market are just insane. They make no sense. That's why the 80 million fee was like the ceiling of the that we have to accept. Right. So so guys, look at you. Now I trust you guys. You guys are being objective. You're not being biased. You're trying to use logic. You're saying, okay, Tonali, 22, going to 23, a lot of potential, great defensive midfielder. I would pay 35 for him. I pay 40, maximum 50. Here comes Newcastle. They're going to give you double of how you value him. And this is the situation. This is the situation. The EPL, my man. The power of the EPL. The going rate for Italian midfielder is 40 million. Yeah, let's not forget about the experience Tonali has gotten when it comes to Champions League. Yeah, that increases his price as well, no doubt about that. Is the Zerbi or Nagelsmann coming? I don't think Pioli stays. Um, well, if Pioli gets fired, 100% Nagelsmann is not coming. 100%. Maybe the Zerbi, yes. Maybe the Zerbi, yes. But I don't see this management paying crazy amounts of money for a coach. I don't see that happening at all because all these coaches here, especially the foreign coaches, very good. They cost a lot. They have steep wages, so I definitely do not see that happening. The Zerbi is a possibility. The Zerbi is definitely a possibility. Roy, what about Fofana? He's really good. He would have been perfect to replace him for Kessie. Fofana would have been a perfect replacement for Kessie. Okay, so that's a great call, Ernesto. Fofana, the replacement of Tonali, Frattesi, the replacement of Benacer. I think that's a more suited comparison because Frattesi is not Tonali, guys. Frattesi is more of a Benacer than a Tonali. While Fofana, actually, probably in my opinion, the best defensive midfielder that is playing in Serie A that I would go for is Amrabat. I think Amrabat would be a very good defensive midfielder that could bring in that physicality and that grit and that fight, that grinta. So Amrabat would be a very good replacement for Tonali. Frattesi, guys, is not Tonali's replacement. Frattesi would be Benacer's replacement, interestingly enough. Kazadeh, that would be a great player. Guys, Kazadeh is 100% going to be a superstar. 100% going to be a superstar. 100%. Pioli would have left with Maldini and Massara. Sangare, also good shout out. Sangare. Fofana is a playmaker, not a Kessie type. I remember watching him and his stats and his numbers. He was very similar to Kessie. Maybe he's more technical than Kessie, but I think his defensive stats were almost identical from how I remember him. Remember when we did the analysis on him a long time ago. The market dictates the price of the players, not us. So Tonali price should be at least 100 million if you compare him to the other leagues. I agree with that. Frattesi is more Barella, in my opinion. Benacer is one of a kind. Yeah, when I say Frattesi is the replacement of Benacer, meaning Frattesi would be the more technical midfielder that is more about the passing and dictating the tempo and also incursions. Benacer is more of a regista than Frattesi, but you need to bring in a replacement for Benacer. And Frattesi is more suited as a replacement for Benacer than Tonali. The same people that agreed with the Maldini sacking will say Tonali agreed to leave. Man, the propaganda is going to be insane. If I like Turan's brother, the midfielder should go for him. I heard that he's very good. He's going to play tonight against Italy. I'm going to check him out. I heard he's very good. Roy, how will you feel about Moncada if we don't get Guler? I think Moncada will sucks. If we don't get Guler, I think Moncada is no good. If we're going to hold Maldini to the standards that we held him, to the standards that the media propaganda, anti-Maldini propaganda held him, then I'm going to do the same exact thing with Moncada. If he can't get Guler, then that means that he has no pull. Because literally, I cannot think of a better club for Guler than Milan right now. How can you not convince Guler to come to Milan? Can we get both Turan brothers, Marcus and Kefren? That'd be sure. Sure, why not? Do you think Kessie is an option? With Gundogan going to Barca, Kessie will get even less playing time. Kessie is being linked to Inter. I don't know if he's an option. He'd be only an option if he decides to reduce his wages. I think there's zero chance Kessie comes to Milan with the wages that he's currently getting. Zero chance. Only if he reduces his wages, he would come. but the team that is being linked with him the most is Inter. So maybe if we lose, if Inter, we guys look at that, that's crazy. If Inter lose Frattesi, maybe they'll go all in for Kessie. That is definitely a possibility. Schkidi is the free agent to get. He could be, yeah, that's right. He's decent. I've seen him. He's definitely being linked to us right now. Kalulu versus Tonali today. Yeah, that's right. France has the best team in the tournament. They're the favorites. Let's see how they do. But I think Italy has a very good defense and a very good midfield. Offense, not so great. We do have Colombo and Yonto in the offense. Cancellieri is good. We have Pellegrini in the offense. Let's see if he can finally show his worth. But France is 100% the favorites over Italy. Quinton Timber, then since Kefren is going to Liverpool. Quinton Timber, is he American? That sounds like an American name. Kamada Turan free, SMS. Okay. This would be a supermarket. Weka says. Kamada Turan for free, SMS Frattesi, Chukwueze, Goulet. But also we need someone to replace Balotelli. But something like that, guys, if we can do anything like that, now that is the dream. That is the number one, right? The number one picks. Thuram for me is not a number one pick, but we're just saying Thuram because right now it looks like he's very close to Milan. You know, I think the next season, then we can't have a bad season if we get these kind of names. We cannot have a bad season if we get these kind of names. There's no excuse. If you leave most of your core, of your pillars, plus you add these players that Wekas mentioned here, how can you have a bad season? You cannot have a bad season. If you do, then Pioli needs to get out. Frattesi is a Tonali replacement. It's Matt Wafers, who Moncada select as Tonali's heir. Check him out. We read about him. Again, guys, Frattesi is not the technical replacement. Frattesi is more so, I think, going to be the Benacer, the player that is going to cover the vacuum that Benacer is leaving due to his injury. And also, again, based on the rules, you need Italians. The quotas, you need Italians. So if you're going to sell an Italian, you probably need to get another Italian. Wekas, you have to factor in the player's wages over the period of the contract. That's how they calculate the player's cost. Yeah, and Frattesi, Chuko, yeah, I think it's doable. The more I think about it, we will play a three-man midfield. We have no choice with the names addressed. I think that is definitely a possibility, for sure. For sure, that is a possibility that we're going to go to a 4-3-3. Let's see. I mean, how long is Pioli going to do this number 10 experiment? Like, he did the number 10 experiment with Çalhanoğlu. It worked for a little bit, but then he had to change it and he had to modify it. Then he tried to do it the next year when Çalhanoğlu left. Who did he have there? He had Diaz, right? Diaz was the Çalhanoğlu replacement. That didn't work, so then he had to put in Kessie there, Krunic there. Then that didn't work. He said, okay, let's get CDK and let's put him there. That didn't work, so now they went back to Krunic there. Is he going to do this again and again and again? Damn it, just go to a fucking 4-3-3 and get it over with. Kamada might have to play a CM or Vice to Leao. Yeah, Kamada can definitely play in a midfield three. All right, let's see if there's any other links here. Rumor time, guys. Rumor time. That is insane. Look at this commitment. This is an insane commitment. 140 million. That's how much they've committed to this operation, Newcastle. 80 million, more or less 80 million for the purchase of the player, plus 60 million the wages. So it's basically 140 million commitment. Wow, guys, the future of football is in England. The EPL is the Super League, and it will be an exclusively English Super League. The EPL is going to just drown out all the other leagues. It's just a matter of time. So the Super League, guys, is happening. The only difference is that it's not going to be an international affair. It's going to be an exclusively British affair. The Brits have conquered Europe once again, those assholes. Oh, sorry, guys. I don't mean to disrespect any British people, but you guys have conquered football. You have complained, you cried, you went out on the streets because you didn't want the Super League to happen. But you guys have definitely become the Super League, and it is exclusively an English affair. Saudis now have come for your asses, though, so watch out. The world of football is going to be the England versus Saudi Arabia. That's pretty much the future right there. England versus Saudi Arabia. But the Super League has officially commenced, and it is exclusively an English affair. The Italians are not allowed in it. UEFA punishes the Italians if they try to get a piece of that. The Germans are not part of it. The Spanish are not part of it. The French are not part of it. It's exclusively an English thing. It's their cake, and only they're allowed to eat it. And we will go out on the streets if anybody else tries. If anybody else tries to come up with ideas on how to increase the revenues, we will go out in the streets and we'll protest. Only we are allowed to be the Super League. Only we are allowed to do that. The Brits are crying about the Saudis. Why would they just sack his father and not his son? Amrabat would be a great Tonali replacement. 100%. 100%. All right, let's see if there's anything on Twitter. Any new reports on Twitter? Let's go to Fabrizio Romano. Let's see if Fabrizio Romano has anything for us. Come on, Fabrizio. All these journalists yesterday milked Milan's so much. They all fucking got 1 million subscribers. Today they're silent. They're not saying anything about AC Milan. Shameless. They're Terminators. They're all Terminators, guys. We live in a planet of Terminators. We live in a planet of Terminators. Roy, why everyone's like the boy from AZ Alchemy? He don't have big numbers and don't show something special. Are you talking about Reindeers? That guy? He's not bad. All these players, guys, is nothing that we don't have in the Serie A. Okay, the only player that I saw that we're linked to, but right now we don't have that in the Serie A, is Arda Güler. But every other player that we are linked to, there are players like that in the Serie A. So no players that we are being linked to is anything special that we already haven't seen in the Serie A. Literally none. Thuram, we have strikers in the Serie A that are better than Thuram. Chukwueze, we have right wingers of that age that are either the same or better. Reindeers, we have 1 million midfielders that are better. Every single player that we are linked to in the Serie A, we already have that. The only player that we don't have in the Serie A is an 18-year-old wonder kid like Arda Güler. That's it. The day we will be linked to Mbappe, that's when we can say, okay, this guy doesn't exist in the Serie A. When we'll be linked to like top players, top Gs, that's when we can say that these guys are not in the Serie A. But literally every single player that we're linked to is already a player that we have in the Serie A. Roy, did you see the hypocrites on Sky, Neville and Carragher, who Saudis will destroy football with money? Oh yeah, but now they love the Saudis, right? Hey guys, I feel myself blessed to not have ever criticized Qatar, Saudi Arabia, blah blah blah, any of that, and I'm not going to be part of the hypocrisy train. I listen. If a Qatari wants to come and buy Milan, please, 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 I beg you. I beg you. I don't care where you're from. You can't come from Mars. But if you want to buy Milan and want to invest in this club and make it a huge club again, I don't care where you come from. And I don't care, politics and sports, tough debate. I think that there's a reason why you have political hour on the news and then you have sports hour on the news. We should be able to separate the two, even though it's difficult to do it because there's a lot on the table there. There's a lot of cards on the table, but at least here we just talk about sports. We just keep it on the sports. Rangers would start in our midfield. Well, yeah, guys. I mean, Rangers would start it right now. Our midfield is Krunic and Pobega. That's it. Of course, he'd start in our midfield. Inter midfield and even Napoli midfield. Mamma mia, they're picking. You're going too far there. You're going way too far there. Way too far there. Way too far. But our midfield, guys, even I could start in our midfield today. I mean, the competition is Krunic and Pobega. That's it. Bakayoko is gone. Tonali is gone. Benacer is not available. Vranks is gone. Ali is out the door. Literally anybody could be a contender in our midfield. Reports say the team have agreed terms and Tonali already agreed on contract. Yeah, it's done, guys. It is a done deal. Tonali is a Newcastle player. He is a Newcastle player. All right, let's go to Fabrizio, the Tapin merchant. Let's see if Fabrizio has anything for us. Again today, despite reports Lukaku has not changed his mind, no to Saudi clubs move. 21 minutes ago, Lukaku does not want to. Guys, it is. Listen, Lukaku loves Inter. He fucking loves Inter. He loves the city of Milano. He loves Italy. He loves the affection that he gets from the fans. He's not coming to AC Milan. That's just ridiculous. I don't even know why this shit was even being reported. He loves Inter. He wants to stay with Inter. He's making a boatload of money with Inter. He's going to do everything he needs to do to stay with Inter. I mean, look, the Saudis who are going to give him so much money, he doesn't care. He literally does not care. This guy is more of an interista than anybody. He's basically wants to become a bandiera, an Inter flag. Oh, this one here, guys, is very interesting. Very interesting. Our friend of the chat, Chunk, has brought this one up. Enzo Lafi, he's going to be playing tonight against Italy. Now, this guy is a player that in Italy, I don't think we have a player like this in Italy. A regista of this level, at this age, I don't think we have it. Maybe Rovella, but I think this guy is better. I don't know. We'll see. Rovella is going to play against him tonight. Tonight is going to be the showdown. Rovella versus Enzo Lafi. So, but a regista of this level, of his age, we don't have. Lobotka is there, but Lobotka is what, mid-20s, upper 20s. Brozovic, upper 20s. Benacer is 25 going to 26. Who else do we have in Italy? Very good registis. Well, we have Ricci, who's interesting. But this kid here, very good. What does it say? Rennes are close to competing deal to sign Enzo Lafi on permanent move from Laurent. Personal terms agreed, and deal now set to be closed 17, 18 million plus add-ons. Lafi was approached by German clubs too, but he's close to Rennes. Okay, so this one here is someone to watch out for. Someone to watch out for. Very interesting player. Lukaku is not like Tonali. We should get Rovella or Enzo Lafi. Yeah, I agree. By the way, Rovella could be on the market. Guglielmo Vicario, basically this goalkeeper that everybody in Italy is talking about. He's the next best thing since sliced bread. I don't know why people are saying this, but whatever it is, what it is. Here we go. Agreement completed after official bid sent for the Italian goalkeeper to join Spurs. So now Spurs bought Udoge, who is from the Italian national team. He's playing tonight in the under 21s. And now they have Vicario. The Italian connection continues. Yeah, guys, nothing here. Milan. No Milan news. No Milan news here. Let's go back to Milan Eye. Let's see if anything else has emerged. Any new links? All right, guys, if you want to see the starting lineups, Tonali and Kalulu start for Italy, France, respectively. So France starts with Chevalier, Kalulu, Bade, Lukeba, Nkonku, Kefren Turam. Oh, so Enzo Lafi is not playing. Kakure, Kone, Barcia, Kalimwendo, and Guiri. Guiri, a very good striker that Laert was talking about a lot. Oh my God, are we really playing a 3-5-2? Bruh, why are we playing a 3-5-2? Why the fuck are we playing a 3-5-2? Anyway, we're Carne Secchi, very good goalkeeper. Scalvini, Pirola, Ocoli. That's a badass defense. Udoge, Tonali, Rovella, Ricci, Bellanova. Very good midfield. Up top, Cambiaghi and Pellegrini. Interesting. I thought Colombo and Yonto would be the starters, but it doesn't look like it. I guess he's going for more physicality. Interesting. Okay. Tonali is a captain. Salernitana met with Milan today to discuss Brescianini and Daniel Maldini, Sky Sport. Tonali's prospect 80 million move to Newcastle is set to become the most expensive transfer for an Italian player ever. There you go. Jerry breaking records, guys. Our boy Jerry is breaking records. Our boy Jerry is breaking records, guys. We should be proud of him. We should be proud. All right, let's go to chat, guys. We're going to keep it with the chat for now. There's really nothing coming up with the news. It's kind of still the same stuff. We're just waiting for Tonali's. Right now, all we need to do is wait for Tonali's sale to be official, and then that's when the mercato really starts. That's when we can really start to speculate and start to see who we're going for. Right now, the big names are Thuram, Arda Güler, Chukwueze, Reindeers, Shkiri, what's this guy, Wafer, this guy that we got linked to today. But we're going to wait and see what happens after this sale of Lukaku happens. Tonali happens. Milan resume pursuit of Frattesi, Milinkovic, Savic. Yeah, we'll wait and see. We're going to have to wait and see. Roy, did you see amazing pass from CDK yesterday? I know he played a decent game, but it wasn't anything special. Why would Vicario join Spurs? I don't know. Trivela ball that killed the defense. CDK. Okay. Interesting. Let me see if there's a CDK versus Bell versus Holland. Yeah, I don't see anything. Anyway, I wouldn't be able to show it over because it's UEFA and they would block the video. I didn't think we're going to be interested in someone today. Yeah, I think things are going to get quite serious once this operation becomes official. Tonali was supposed to be untouchable. Tyler Adams would be similar replacement to Tonali. Tyler Adams, not familiar with him. Turam is coming. Yeah, Turam, guys. It looks like this deal is happening. Um, at least this is what everybody is saying. It looks like it's getting closer and closer. Now, listen. Yesterday we had a crazy guy that was super high on the most craziest drugs that the universe has to offer, and he said that Turam will come to Italy and score 25 goals plus. Guys, that is not going to happen, right? Forget that idea that Turam is going to come to Italy and score 25 goals plus. You should even be careful to say that if a player like Haaland comes to Italy. If Haaland comes to Italy, you can't even be sure that he can score more than 25 goals in his first season in Italy. Okay? Germany is a super open league. They don't give a shit about defense in Germany. It's all extremely open. It's a counterattack league. So there's a lot of space for players like Thuram. In England, we know how the football is in England. It's basically run up and down, run up and down, run up and down. A lot of space. Nobody really closes down their defenses in England so much. And when they do, they don't really do it in a very efficient way because it's just not in the EPL DNA. Even Haaland, you would have to be skeptical in saying that if he comes to Italy, he would score 25 goals plus. Maybe he can get to 20, 21, his first season. So when I hear people say that Thuram are going to come to Italy and they're going to score more than 25 goals in the first season, bruh, you are smoking some of the craziest shit. So Thuram, guys, is going to bring something that we don't have up top, which is that youthful energy, exuberance, because he's still a young player, physicality, and he's going to be a player that can attack the spaces. And he's definitely going to bring us different solutions. But as far as I know, he's not a prolific striker, meaning he's not like a box poacher. He's not like a tap-in merchant. He likes to actually play the ball. So get that out of your head, guys. Thuram is not going to come to Milan and score more than 25 goals. Falcon Flint says Thuram will score maximum 8 goals in Serie A. That's probably if he has an okay season, he can get to 8. A good season, I think he can get to 13, 12, between 10 and 15. Now, of course, guys, I'm just letting you know, if he does come to Milan and he scores 25 goals, Thuram, that will mean that we have one of the best strikers, not in Europe, but in the world. Just letting you know. Doesn't have a passing ability like Tonali, but Weston McKennie has a similar motor, and Juve have been looking to sell. Good shout out there, Buck Q. Good shout out. Weston McKennie is a player that does have good work rate. He's a soldier. He likes to get into the gritty nitty in the midfield. He likes to get into those midfield wars. He is American, so he would kind of suit the whole American, branding that they want to do, especially going into the World Cup. As we saw that we are being linked to Pulisic, I believe the Pulisic link is exclusively because Cardinale wants to have Pulisic on every single billboard in America leading up to the World Cup, and having a player in every single billboard in America with the AC Milan shirt can only be not good for business, excellent for business. So Pulisic I think is one of our main targets for that reason. But you can also use a player like McKennie like that who could also cover that role. So not a bad shout out. Not a bad shout out. Thuram is coming means Leao is going after next year because Leao earned. Oh, interesting. Interesting connection that you're making here. Thuram is coming means Leao is going after next year because Leao earned his pay, where Thuram has not earned his highest pay on the team, 16 million, 6 million year salary. What a joke of a club. But you know what that kind of makes me think of? That maybe that is the plan. to have Turam take his salary, and then they're going to release those wages next year if they sell Leao. If they sell Leao. Very interesting. I think if Leao has a good season this year, guys, if Leao has a good season next summer, they can sell Leao for close to 150 million. And I don't see why Leao would not have a good season. Leao basically just needs to have the same season that he had this year. Every time Leao scores a goal, gets an assist, his value goes up. So if he can get to his, now that has been 2 seasons in a row, 20 goal contribution, offensive output, 20 plus goal contribution, offensive output, his price is going to be 150. And I think they can actually think about selling him next year. Guys, isn't this awesome? We can talk about how we're going to sell our best players. Yay. AC Milan. His release clause is 175. They might, yeah, that might be activated. I watched Moneyball. I watched Moneyball earlier. Shit movie. I haven't seen it, guys. I'm quite curious to see it. Milan don't need Thuram to score a lot of goals because Leao is that type of player. We do need someone to score goals, but he's just not going to score more than 25 goals. Transfer could be a good sign. McKennie, rubbish player. Thuram has a pace and threat, which would help Leao even more. So many times where Giroud has not so much area to use, yet can't do to age. But something needs to be said about this, Pixion. Our biggest problem is not beating Napoli. It's not beating Juve, Roma, Lazio, Atalanta, and it hasn't for a while. Last year, Inter just fucking totally dominated us. Our biggest problem is that we can't fucking beat Cremonese. We can't beat Torino. We can't beat Lecce. We can't beat, the fucking Sunday league team at the park. Why? Because what these teams do is that they play a game that basically takes away your speed. And your space. That's what they do. That's what low blocks and basically the way these coaches prepare their games. It is basically to anesthetize. That's a tough word. I'm not even going to try and say it. Annihilate or kill your ability to use your speed and to use space. So then at that point, Leao's speed means nothing. Thuram's speed means nothing. So that's the problem. With Thuram, we are not addressing the ability to beat the low block teams. With Thuram, we're just increasing our ability to beat the teams that play open football. You need players like Dybala. You need players like Arda Güler, like Vice Verasquilla. Like these are the kind of players that are good for low blocks. The genius kind of playmakers. Or you need someone like Ibrahimovic, who is a super talented footballer that can play in short spaces, that can do overhead kicks out of nothing, can do flicks and blah, blah, blah. That is the biggest issue that we've had. Thuram does not solve that issue one way or the other. And it is another reason why it's like, when the hell are we going to address that? When are we going to address that problem? We know that when we play against these teams, we're going to have the ball. We're going to have 70% of the ball. We're going to squash those teams in their own box. It doesn't matter how fast Leao can run in a 100-meter sprint. It does not matter one bit. Because when football becomes like that, what matters is how good are you at dribbling in a small space? How good are you at threading the ball through tight channels? How good are you at finding your target when trying to make an assist? How good are you at weaving the ball through all these tight spaces and tight channels, triangles, etc., etc.? That's why Barcelona was such an incredibly successful team, because they built a team that was designed to run through these low blocks like they didn't even exist. What was their formula for that? Messi, Xavi, Iniesta, Suarez, Neymar, Ronaldinho, like genius players. We don't have those kind of players. We need to get those kind of players in order to break down low blocks. I'm not seeing that being addressed. Arda Güler could be that guy, though. Because we're going to keep on. It doesn't matter if you get Turam, Leao, and freaking and Chukwueze and Kamada and freaking Fratesi and SMS. You're not going to break down low blocks that way. It's not going to happen. Spinazzola could be a good move, yeah. Marcos Thuram has informed PSG that he won't be joining the club, guys. L'Equipe. Breaking news. Breaking news. Marcus Thuram has informed PSG today that he won't be joining the club. Guys, I think we're about to have one of our first big signings. I seen a stat where where other teams like Napoli, Inter and Fiorentina are elite in the opponent's field title XG. Despite our average possession, we don't have patterns of passing. Yeah, so and that's something that the eye can see. We're very good at keeping the ball inside the opposition half, but once we get in front of that box, there is the pattern, the passing, and basically, but the players with the ability to make all those through balls, all those threaded balls, and just basically, to design plays that open up low blocks is not there. So, and that's something that you don't figure out in practice, guys. Listen to me. You don't figure that out in practice. You need the players that can do that. Right? What's Messi, Xavi, and Iniesta were doing with Barcelona? It's not things that the coach said, okay, when you get in front of the box, I want you to do this pattern, that pattern, that pattern, that triangle. It's not. These guys had it already in them. It was already in their footballing DNA. And this is where the market comes in. So you need sport directors that will get you players that do that. For example, Napoli, that's how they want to play. That's why they went for Raspadori, because Raspadori is good at that. That's why they went for Vice Varaskelia, because he's good at that. That's why they have Lobotka. That's why they have Zelinski. That's why they went for Ndombele, because he has those qualities. And that's why they have Politano, etc., 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 etc. So Napoli has a good team to break down low blocks, but Napoli is also a team that we saw, because they open up so much. If they play against teams with a lot of speed, like we have with Leao, then they become vulnerable. So if you want to become a really top team, you have to have both elements. You have to have the elements to break down low blocks, and you have to have the elements to break down open teams. Right now, I'm not seeing our team being built that way, and that's kind of disappointing. The way Pioli has treated Ali, I wouldn't put it past him to do the same with Goulart. Oof, man, that would be heavy. No. Come on, man. That cannot happen. That would be terrible if that happens. I seen, read that. Why haven't we closed the Arda Güler deal yet? Are we going to let that transfer fall through? Yeah, I think it's going to be very difficult to convince him, for sure. Antonio's back. What's up, Antonio? How you doing, my man?
What up? What up?
Are you feeling better now? Are you feeling good?
Dude, I'm emotionally detached. Like, I'm good.
You're becoming a cyborg, huh?
Yes, sir.
So you're becoming a Milanista, guys. That's where we are. We're cyborgs now. We are bots, guys. We are soulless bots, cyborgs. No soul, no feelings. This is the new Milan DNA. So no real news has come out, Antonio. But
Turan.
anything you've heard maybe that I missed?
Have you heard about Turan? Hello? Hello? Hello?
Audio issues, guys. This damn freaking thing.
Hello?
I'm taking Cassie for 10 million at most. Moncada and Fernani can't even close the Fenerbahce player. Still, what a joke. What a joke. Antonio, can you hear me?
Yes.
I can't hear you. Mamma mia. Oh. Mamma mia. Oh. Yeah, I can hear you.
Hola.
So what's up? What do you think of his comment? We should sell Tomori and Kjaer, start Kalulu and Chow, buy some experienced defender, buy the Tameri, SMS Guler, Amrabat.
Tameze.
I think he's talking about the attacking the Porto player. Taremi. Buy the Taremi, SMS Guler, Amrabat, Spinazzola, and hijack Berardi. What do you think? Bruh, I would love that. That'd be amazing.
It's not gonna happen.
Well, you don't like Berardi, but yeah.
Hey, did you hear about Turam?
Turam. So we have a Fabrizio. We got Fabrizio news here. Let's check it out. What about Turam? He said no to PSG, right?
Yeah, that was the news.
That pretty much means that he's coming to Milan, eh? Would you say that?
Or Leipzig.
Or Leipzig. True. Okay, so let me go to Fabrizio Romano, see what he says. Here we go. Marcos Thuram will not join PSG. It's confirmed as per L'Equipe. Why? Understand Thuram is tempted by the new improved proposal from AC Milan and PSG didn't like it. Today, PSG decided against proceeding with Thuram deal. AC Milan now confident to get it done. Guys, we have some breaking news here. Breaking news. Thuram, 25 plus goal scorer player, is going to come to Italy and win the Ballon d'Or. 6 million a season. Full agreement reached between AC Milan and Newcastle for Sandro Tonali after new meeting in Milano. What are you expecting from Thuram, Antonio?
5 goals.
5?
Messias level contribution.
Really? Like, are you like how much of that are you serious? Well, like, how serious are you?
I don't attach myself to players anymore. Hopefully he scores goals. I'm not really a big fan of him, to be honest.
What's the best you think he can do? And I'm not asking you to be attached to them. Like, listen, I hear you, bro. Like, there's no need to care about anybody that joins AC Milan anymore. It's different. We're cyborgs. It's the cyborg era. We get it. It's the bots. AC bot Milan. But what's the best you think he can do?
15 goals, realistically, in the league, I guess. That would be very, very good.
If you can do that, yeah. Dan says we should have gotten Indica on a free and sold Tomori and kept Tonali. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I agree with that. Also, Tomori is like close to me right now.
Oh, really? He's in. Where is he?
Miami.
Huh? Oh, he's in Miami. Maldini's in Miami too, right? Isn't
Oh,
Maldini in Miami?
is he actually?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so say hi to Tomori and Maldini. I would have much rather sold Tomori, Teo, or even Magnan before Tonali.
If I see them, I'll get an exclusive interview.
Please do. We haven't got much information on what the players think about the recent events. I'm curious to see what happens with that. So Pixion says apparently Tonali went behind Milan's back for his move. I don't know what to believe anymore.
What's the source?
Source Pixion.
Probably we're never going to find out.
Now, listen, if he did that, do you think it was because he was tempted by the money or because he, like us, since we are Milanisti and he's a Milanista, feels like, man, I do not want to fucking sweat for this ownership, for this management. After what they did to my boy Maldini, I cannot see myself fighting for this ownership. Like I would rather just make a shitload of money and set myself up for my family's my next 5 generations. Do you think that's a possibility?
Yeah, I think the second one is much more likely. Um, Also, another Fabrizio Romano post just popped up. Um, well, actually, it could just be the one that you have on right now. I don't know if it's a different one, but I think it's I think it's a different one. I think PSG just exited the deal because they didn't want to like wait around for Turan to like for them it's insulting that he's considering Milan. You know.
Guys, big news from Fabrizio Romano. Yeah, you're right, Antonio. Here we go. 1 minute ago, Marcus Thuram will not join PC. It's confirmed. So he basically re-updated this. Thuram is tempted by the new improved proposal, like we just read. Communication sent in the afternoon. Talks with PSG are over. Milan confident to get it done. Guys, here we go. Breaking news. Wow. Incredible. Roy, what you say is a joke. Nobody thinks like that. He just got to Newcastle for money. Do you really think that's the only reason why he did it, just for money?
I don't believe that. I'm sorry. Because if we had Maldini, he would have stayed, guys.
I
People who don't believe that
Yeah.
are like just being naive, and they're just using the lazy excuse of like just yes, we know we don't have as much money as them. It's obvious, but still, then how come these players didn't leave last year or didn't aren't pushing to leave? And how come we never heard of like these big offers until after the Mercato like layout last season? It's because Maldini was saying no instantly to those offers, and nothing happened. Like, and those players were happy here. So I don't believe this.
Yeah, I think yeah, I think you're right, and I think that's the main reason. Because listen, Leao has obviously been offered way more money than Milan has offered him. Like that has to be a fact. Like
Yep.
we know. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, and there was a 90 million bid last summer.
Right, there was a 90 million bid from Chelsea, correct?
Yes.
And that has been that it was official. That was an official bid. That wasn't speculation. That was a real bid. Last summer, if Jerry had more pull last summer, Leao would have been sold, guys. If Maldini wasn't there, Leao wouldn't be here right now. But anyway, now this is how the club works, you know. So
Expect Leao to be sold.
yeah, expect any player to be sold at this point. If the offer is right, nobody's going to say no anymore. There's just
Yeah.
nobody in the club to close the door on any appetizable, yeah, appetizable offer.
If Leao has an improvement season again this year, next summer they could sell him actually for 150 million.
That's right. Or even activate his release clause if someone wants to. They could activate
Yeah.
release clause, I think, within the first 2 weeks of this mercato. So I think, don't quote me on that, but I think that if within the first 2 weeks of July, if there's some crazy buyer that wants to put in 175 million for Leao, Milan has no say into it. And if the offer is right at this point, Honestly, I don't think Lau would go. I think Lau will stay another year. Do you think if Lau gets a big offer, he would say yeah? He would say yes. For some reason, I think that Lau is thinking more about the sporting aspect than rather. He doesn't care whether it's Milan or not, but I think he feels that he needs a little bit more time at Milan before making the big step. What do you think, Antonio? Are you there? Oh, hold on, let me see what happened. Antonio will be back. I agree. It depends on both the player and club. Roy, will you lime part? What will you lime Partey from Arsenal to Milan because Arsenal want to sell him, but Juventus is in the race? Will you lime Partey? What? Partey, bro? I don't know. What are you saying in this? Can you rewrite that, please? If Tonali's sellable, that just means no one is safe in the team. Yeah, but initially, if your employer treats you as if you're expandable, disposable, and another employer offers you triple the wages, you would take the offer. Would you not? Yeah, I think anybody would. Will you partay with who? Lime? Who's Lime? Marv Diaz says it makes no sense to sell Tonali. He was perfect for us. Italian, young, was improving, low wages, and never injured. True. Very true. Very good point, Marv Diaz. Never injured. True. Issue is to sell him for 80 and spending 40 for a risk makes no sense. Well, listen, I know that everybody here is speculating or is quite pessimistic, and they think that we're not going to be spending any money that we make from these sales. That is probably the right guess, but let's wait and see. Let's wait and see. Let's wait and see, because if they do reinvest, then guys, I don't think there's much to be upset about. So as I said, I'm keeping that the possibility open. So I'm keeping that door open. The possibility of them reinvesting wisely is there. Now I understand that most people are skeptical and they're looking at this management with with a lot of skepticism, and they think that the money will not be reinvested. It'll just go back in the pockets to pay the debt, which is very real. The debt needs to be paid. There's only one way to pay the debt is with the money of the club, essentially. So that's a reality that needs to be contended with. But are they paying the debt with the sale of the players, or are they paying the debt with the revenue of the club? Guys, maybe I'm too optimistic, maybe I'm too positive. I think that the sale of the players will be used for the market, while the revenue of the club will be used for the debt. Maybe I'm being way too optimistic about this. Maybe I shouldn't. I like to start with optimism, I guess, and then bring myself down. Tonali was a heart of Milan. Maldini was a heart of Milan. Both gone. Everybody is expendable. Yeah, you don't have heart. We don't have a brain. We don't have a heart. We're bots, guys. We are bots. We are bots, ladies and gentlemen. The bots have arrived. The bots are here. The bots are here, guys. The cyborgs are here.
Cyborg.
So now it's just time to become cyborgs.
We are all cyborgs.
So, did you hear what I said about how I think that the revenue is how they're going to use what they're going to use to pay the debt, but the sales of players is going to go from the market?
Yeah, you're probably correct.
Well, if that is correct, then I think one can be optimistic on the quality of the rosters, right? If I'm
True,
saying,
but the question is, how much of it do we invest?
I'm saying a good portion of it.
We'll see.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like until we don't know for sure, we don't know, and that's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. But the era of the bot is here. Hey, have you heard about this virtual reality thing that is going to be happening? I'm looking forward to it. So basically, we're going to wear like virtual reality goggles, and we can be anywhere around the world and watch the games as if we were in the stadium. I think this is part of the whole Messi thing, and what is it? Apple, basically, the new technology, the new technology of the future, social media. Basically, that's where the future is going. We are literally going to enter the new era of virtual reality. Entertainment is going to be consumed that way. Right now, also, that is also actually a very, very good way for clubs to make money because at this point, going to the stadium is not a matter of, man, imagine that. Going to the stadium will not be a matter of 60, 70,000 people. You will literally have millions of people in the stadium from a virtual reality standpoint. So you're going to pay the ticket, right? You're going to pay for the whatever for the program. You're going to put these goggles on, and you're going to be literally in the stadium, and you're going to watch the game 3D. Are you excited for that? Skynet is
Excited
coming.
for Jerry to take more of my money and to come hack my house? No way.
Really?
I would be if it wasn't
Come
for these
on.
owners.
I wonder if there's going to be pirated versions of that. You know how you can pirate all this stuff? I wonder if you can pirate all of that shit.
Don't tell me you're gonna buy that.
Of course I am. Are you kidding me? I can't wait, dude. I
You get
cannot.
to protest.
I have been waiting for that technology since I was like 5 years old because it was like, come on. Are you telling me you're not excited to put on those damn virtual reality goggles on
I will
and
not
watch the
have any
games?
emotions until these guys are out.
And you guys know, I'm not even going to tell you, but you guys know how they're going to be used mostly, those goggles. We all know. We all know what is going to be mostly consumed with those goggles. But come on. Are you telling me you're not going to pay the $50 to watch Milan versus Cremonese virtual reality? You're not going to do that?
I don't care about that, and as long as the owners are here, I'm not spending money. I'm sorry.
Really? Damn. Guys, make sure that you click the like button because the algorithm feeds off of the likes, and Skynet needs those likes. Skynet needs the likes. They definitely do. Um, Let me just emphasize that this is the era of the bot in the chat. There. The era of the bot has arrived. All right, guys, listen. So the news is the news today. It's a slow news day. There's not much, which was to be expected because the big thing that needs to happen in our universe is the completion of a sale, and then once that happens, the floodgates open, and once that happens, the floodgates open, and I think I'm going to make this prediction. It looks like Turam is literally one step away from AC Milan, so we're going to see Turam join in Milan, and then I'm going to make this prediction, guys. Frattesi. Frattesi is going to become an AC Milan player. And then if we can get another exciting attacking midfielder, I think a lot of us are going to forget about Tonali real fast. Yeah, I know. People hating on Tonali are stupid. This isn't the Milan that fell in love with everyone stayed. Jerry just wants to flip for profits, correct. Antonio, are you going to watch the Italy U21 game?
I'm gonna follow it, but it's gonna make me sick to my stomach. So
Why?
Actually, forget that. I'm a cyborg. Yeah, I'll watch it.
Yeah, right. No feelings, guys. There's no feeling. Feelings is for humans. Humans are, come on. Humans are pathetic. Us cyborgs, we don't have time for feelings. Chukwueze could be the right winger, yeah. Attacking midfielder Chukwueze, yeah. Vitiello, Thuram non firmerà con il PSG. Nothing here. Nothing here. So, guys, I think that's it for today. Like, we've covered everything today. We're gonna just wait. Tomorrow, probably we're going to have the official report regarding Tonali, and then next week, I'm assuming things are going to get very heated. I think it's going to be a busy summer, Antonio. I think this summer is going to be much busier than we anticipated. I think this summer, guys, the news is going to be crazy. Also, in general market news, Chiesa. Chiesa is definitely looking to be sold. Liverpool made an offer for Chiesa, so Juventus is considering Chiesa, and also there was a very interesting report about Napoli trying to go all in for Chiesa, about a secret negotiation for Chiesa. So imagine if, and also De Laurentiis is trying to keep Osimhen. He wants to keep Osimhen. So imagine if next season Napoli's offense is going to be Vice Verasquilli on the left, Osimhen center forward, Chiesa on the right. That is some crazy firepower. That is literally some crazy ass firepower. If he can achieve that, holy moly, that's going to be
If
tough.
Juventus sells to Napoli, then I think it's the end of the world.
Juventus, obviously, they need to sell. They need to sell, but Juventus is going to reinvest wisely. I think they're going to, like always, get some good players. Yeah, it's going to be a very long mercato. Hisham was hilarious on Rock's live stream yesterday. What virtual reality do I get to be Kalulu point of view? I don't know. Oh, dude, that's gonna happen too, Isham. That's gonna happen as well. You can literally be POV for any player you want. It's the future, guys. Invest in stocks for that technology because that's the future, guys. The future is going to be virtual reality. Whoever builds that technology, the companies, blah blah blah, social media, Facebook, Instagram, all of this shit is going to become primitive soon once virtual reality hits the ground running. What we're doing right now is going to be virtual reality, guys. See, these kind of streams, we're going to be doing them in the metaverse has already taken off, by the way. So it's already there. It's already started and it's very popular. A lot of people are investing in the metaverse already. And they're ready right now as we speak. There's huge communities in the metaverse. But soon, with a virtual reality technology that is going to come out, it's going to become mainstream. It's going to be mainstream. Basically, the same way we have our phones on us the whole time, the virtual reality is going to become a fruition. Yes, we are going to become cyborgs. The era of the cyborg is here. We are all going to play for virtual reality Milan Skynet. Napoli is going to get stronger, even though they're going to lose Kim. Juventus and Inter are going to get stronger. What are we doing? Getting weaker? I don't know. We might get stronger too, guys. Let's not be too pessimistic. All right, guys. Listen, I think we covered everything for today. Antonio, is there anything else you want to add?
I love football.
All right, guys. So if there's any other breaking news, we will cover it later. But right now, the Italy under 21 games is going to happen. It's going to start in 20 minutes from now. I'm going to try and catch that. Very curious to see what happens. So I want to thank everybody that joined us today. Make sure you click that like button. Make sure you feed the algorithm. Make sure you also become a cyborg, because this is what we are, cyborgs.
Gracias, Roy. Gracias.
Appreciate everybody that joined us today, guys. We will see you tomorrow for another newscast. Let's see what the future brings, guys. As always, Forza Milan, Forza Maldini, Forza Terminator, Forza Turam, Forza Newcastle, and Forza Pobega and Rade Krunic, Milan's midfield. Have a good day wherever you are, guys. I'll see you next time. Peace out. Ciao.
Devil in a red dress, call 911, I'm a killer. You know I hate to confess. Bang bang, got my hand on the trigger. The devil in a red dress, call 911, I'm a killer. You know I hate to confess. Bang bang, got my hand, bang, got my hand, call call 911, I'm a killer. You know I hate to